So here we are in London, Soho, Golden Square. My name's TJ and I'm one of the malt whisky ambassadors for Diageo. I'm actually Scotland based, which is amazing because I get to work with Scotch whisky in the home of Scotland. I'm standing with a fantastic bottle of Talisker from the 2019 Diageo's special releases. This here, the releases are called Rare by Nature. So they are one-off whiskies that we are tasting today, but we're going to talk about a little bit more. This one here, Talisker 15-year-old from the Isle of Skye. If you look at the top of the bottle, there is the map of Skye there, and it also features on the top of this lovely packaging up here as well. I think when we talk about Skye, it can be very interesting. I always find that when you go to Skye, there are a very particular way that the people of Skye do things, and it's so endearing because there is only one way to do things on Skye, and it is the Skye way. Doesn't matter what you say or what you do, how they do things, and they're amazing traditional people. In 1995, the bridge to Skye opened and it catapulted Talisker as a brand, and the visitor centre has grown so much over the last 2 decades. It's absolutely phenomenal. We have 70,000 visitors at Talisker every year, an island way up hidden on the west coast of Scotland. And it's absolutely fantastic that the love that we have for this brand has grown so much. But I think that's enough about Skye, and we should talk a little bit more about this whiskey here. What we have is natural cask strength, and I love how on the front of this bottle it says rugged and smoky, capturing that slogan that we have from Talisker with made by the sea. This one here is slightly higher than our normal Talisker expressions at 57.3% ABV, natural cask strength. I'm joined here by Henry, features editor from Master of Malt. We've done a couple of videos together and always have a great time, so thank you very much for joining me again. I think what we should do is...
Can't wait to try this one, yeah.
Yeah, I think as we started this video, what did you say?
Want to try some Talisker.
Wow, I can't wait, you know, so I'm really excited that we get to do this together here. So pouring this lovely amber liquid. And I think what we should do first of all is, I like the fact that it's sunny in November in London. It's definitely not where I'm from in Scotland, up in Edinburgh, but the fact that I can hold that in that natural sunlight and see how light and delicate that actually is. On the nose, I think giving it a little swirl, you can tell straight away that that is definitely 100% Talisker. 128 malt whisky distilleries in Scotland, featuring all the way from the likes of the Speysides, Cardew, Cragganmore, Glenfiddich and Balvenie, right the way down to what we have in the Isle of Islay. Those big, punchy, hard-hitting, peaty whiskies, Lagavulin, Caolilla, Bruichladdich, Ardbeg. Great contrast, and what we have right in the middle is this, which is Talisker, which is the gateway between the Highlands and the Speysides down to those punchy Islay whiskies. So on the nose, it definitely is Talisker. There's smoke, it's rugged as it says on the bottle, and it definitely is smoky. I think the whole idea of made by the sea fits very, very well with that maritime and seaweed flavours coming through. I think on the taste, viscous, full-bodied, really coats your mouth, filled with those oily textures. That smoke comes through really nicely. There's that caramels and toffees that we're getting from that American oak, and that moorish, saline seaweed saltiness that we have for that maritime. At 57.3%, it's quite punchy. So I definitely recommend maybe putting a tiny drop of water in here, and we can see how this can open up. I think the idea from me, of adding water to a lot of whiskies, I tend not to do it too much, because a lot of the whiskies I talk about are generally very accessible. Talking about Johnnie Walker Black Label at 40%, Talisker at 45.8 in that 10-year-old. But moving up, I think it's important that we can relax that whiskey with just a drop of water. So when we go back to this,
Really opens it up, doesn't it, on the nose?
Absolutely. It's a lot more approachable now. Smoother. The oily texture is still there, which is great. And that, you know, that solid Talisker backbone of that maritime saltiness, seaweed, and that lovely wisp of smoke that comes through from that peat. Definitely one that I'm going to keep in my drinks cabinet for as long as I can, and share with as many friends as possible. So
The finish is just
it goes on and on. It's still there, and I don't
How
doubt.
would you describe the finish?
The finish itself is that caramel that keeps coming back around. It dries out slightly with that American oak, but that wisp of smoke that comes round and round and round is what makes that Talisker there. I think the key part that we're forgetting, and what I really love about Talisker, is those 4 words of that red, hot chili pepper. And that tip of the tongue that's still going, still tingling and still tickling, and that's what makes Talisker so distinctive compared to all of those other whiskey distilleries that we have in Scotland. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did anyway.
True point, yeah.
Cheers.